tell you one thing. The systems and procedures at the Rotary headquarters of financial management are so robust that it's impossible to do anything wrong there. The budgets are well laid out, discussed, debated, arrived at, and then no variance from the budget is permitted at any cost. So your money is well handled, well spent, all towards enhancing the participant experience and the member satisfaction of our organization. However, before all that money is spent, we do have a budgeting process. We plan 5 years ahead as to what kind of budgets we need to work with. And as you may well appreciate, there are a lot of guesswork involved in budgeting. In our case, there are two main things that we guess. One is, of course, the number of members we are likely to have over the next 5 years. Because our primary source of revenue is a membership subscription, and it's a direct function of how many members there are in our organization. And to guess that number as we go along is something that's not very easy, so we make an informed guess about how many members there are likely to be in our organization over the next 5 years. Second is about what would be the per capita dues as we move forward. As some of you may be aware of, this per capita dues is something that's fixed by the Council on Legislation, which meets every 3 years. The last one that met a few months ago at Chicago approved of an increase of $4 and $3.50 starting next year. So we know what's going to be the per capita dues for the next 3 years, but we do not know thereafter. So again, we make a guess about what it is. And the third important thing is the mandate, board mandate is to have a balanced budget. Unlike several government bodies which can afford to have a deficit budget, we cannot have a deficit budget. We need to have a balanced budget. So these revenues and these expenses are matched and we are able to balance budget. This is how we plan our budget 5 years ahead, and we keep monitoring it at every board meeting. Every board meeting the board does monitor where we stand vis-a-vis the budget and our actuals. So this is the process that Rotary International follows, and I'll now play a video for you which should address most of your questions, most of your concerns. However, if you do have any unanswered questions thereafter, I don't think time permits any question answer session here, but I will be available offline during this institute. If you want to ask any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. So let's look at the video. Naren?
Hi, I'm Julie Burke, Chief Financial Officer of Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation.
And I'm Venkatesh, Director and Treasurer of Rotary International. And today, Julie and I are here to share with you Rotary's 5-year forecast. But before we get to the 5-year forecast, let's talk a little bit about Rotary's culture of financial governance.
First and foremost, stewardship of Rotary's financial assets is one of the key responsibilities of both staff and volunteers. Rotarians trust Rotary International with a great deal of money each year.
Rotary has a rigorous process to ensure that it remains financially strong far into the future and best serves its members, clubs and districts. Our Secretariat staff and Finance Committee start by developing key assumptions that are used to create a balanced budget.
The board receives the recommended budget and considers additional strategic investments that will drive key programs and projects. The board also approves a 5-year forecast, which we are sharing with you today, to ensure that today's decisions support financial strength and growth into the future.
The board of directors regularly receives reports that compare the financial progress to the budget. This allows us to monitor progress towards goals and serves as the financial backdrop for the board as it considers recommendations.
Our board of directors, committees, and staff are very diligent to ensure that the money is used for its intended purpose.
So, let's take a look at the key assumptions. The biggest assumption in the 5-year forecast is membership.
That's right, Venki. Membership is very important as more than 2/3 of our revenue comes from club dues.
And these dues allow the Secretariat to develop and maintain the global infrastructure that enables Rotarians to serve their communities and participate in service projects across the globe, as well as connecting clubs and districts to digital technology, secure financial systems, multi-language communications, and our professional staff.
Dues also allow the Secretariat to provide quality and efficient support to members worldwide, including things like membership development, communications, IT infrastructure, and member services, to name a few. There are 2 factors that impact the membership dues assumption. One is the number of members, and the other is the dues cost per member. With respect to the number of members, the 5-year forecast is based on membership of 1.168 million members per year. This is well below the 1.206 million members per year for fiscal 23 reflected in the 2019 5-year forecast, when the Council on Legislation established the dues levels for Rotary years 21, 22, and 23.
Over the past several years, we have seen membership numbers increasing. And although membership numbers have increased slightly in fiscal 22, they are still lower than what was projected in 2019.
So the 5-year forecast assumes stable membership at the current level. Yes, we have new membership initiatives underway, and in fiscal 22, we saw some promising signs of growth. However, we'll need to see several years to develop this worldwide growth, and have therefore forecasted our membership conservatively.
Rest assured, Rotary is very focused on growing membership.
That's right, Venki. To aid in that goal, Rotary is making investments in member services and products, which will help us lean into what Rotarians imagine Rotary to be in years to come. These investments include the Connect Global Membership Module, where purpose-driven people come together to advance their careers, causes, and communities for good. Our partnership with Toastmasters, focusing on communication and leadership development. Enhanced tools for membership leads, and additional tools and assets for our People of Action campaign, which is helping to tell our club's stories.
Now, the second factor that impacts membership dues revenue is the dues rate. The 2022 Council on Legislation recognized how critical it is for Rotary to respond to the current challenges and uncertainties related to decreasing membership, lower investment earnings, and rising inflation, while managing the economic and political climate of the latter. Accordingly, the Council approved a $4 dues increase in fiscal 24 and dues increases of $3.50 in both fiscal 25 and fiscal 26. These increases are included in the 5-year forecast.
With this dues increase, we can better plan for our future and ensure our programs, services, and global infrastructure are properly funded, without cutting programs or services that our members want and need to serve their clubs and their communities. And Rotary doesn't take these increases for granted. Every year, we have to make difficult decisions to balance the budget and operate efficiently and effectively across over 37,000 clubs, 221 countries, geographic territories, 28 currencies, and dozens of languages.
Rotary has used dues to provide value to Rotarians through careful investments and by developing a strong, cost-effective infrastructure.
I think it would be helpful to show Rotarians how their dues are spent. Let's take a look at 2022 expenses as outlined in the plan. Revenue from dues pays for operating expenses. These are related to the general operations of Rotary International and can easily be broken into 3 categories. Expenses that directly support Rotarians, expenses that increase awareness of Rotary and support Rotary's image, and expenses to cover necessary administration and compliance obligations, which include general costs for our offices across the globe, like rent, technology, legal legal, audit, and accounting expenses.
The good news is that more than half of your dues go to directly sustain members. Whether it is the work of the board of directors, the committees that work on behalf of the members, training, reimbursement of district leadership, or to assist club and district leadership on a daily basis, 57% of your dues go to Rotarians.
And 21% of member dues support enhancing Rotary's image and creating broader Rotary awareness. This includes the People of Action campaign and branding assets that help Rotarians tell their story locally with a coordinated message. Increasing awareness and understanding of Rotary helps clubs attract new members, engages members of the community in supporting our work and mission, expands our philanthropy efforts, and helps to strengthen and create partner relationships as we do good in the world.
And finally, there are administration and compliance expenses. Rotary plans to spend 22% on compliance and administrative activities in the 7 countries where we have Rotary offices. Our operations are complex, but that is expected from a global organization with the reach and impact of Rotary.
Putting it all together, let's look at the projections. The red bars on the left show expenses that are higher than revenues. The green bars on the left show revenues higher than expenses. As you can see, we are projecting a near balanced budget in fiscal 23, a minor deficit in fiscal 24, and a slight surplus in fiscal 25 and 26. Our bylaws require a balanced budget each year. Over the next 5 years, we will need to continue to prioritize our spending, in addition to focusing on growing our revenues to ensure we put forth a balanced budget. Any surpluses will be used to support projects and programs that are needed to increase services to Rotarians.
Meeting our target, which is shown in red on the right, ensures Rotary has assets set aside for unexpected circumstances. Based on the current forecast, Rotary International is projected to have sufficient funds to meet the board target through 2027.
And that's great news, because in our current global environment of economic uncertainty and regional unrest, reserves are not a luxury, they are a necessity. We must have sufficient reserves for unplanned events, as well as for strategic investments to maintain, grow, and support our organization across clubs and districts on a local, regional, and global level.
And Rotary will continue to invest in programs, projects, and technology to improve the member experience. An ongoing initiative over the past 6 years has been the strengthening of our global infrastructure, and this current year, initiating our digital strategy transformation.
That's right, Venki. The 2016 and 2019 councils funded the build and upgrade of our global infrastructure, which was the first step in our digital transformation. In addition to upgrading and maintaining this big back-end infrastructure, we must also, moving forward, focus on the people-centered aspects of our infrastructure, and that is the user interface and member experience.
One example of this is the launch of the Learning Center. Since its introduction, it has evolved into an interactive hub where members can access over 1,600 courses in more than 24 languages, and where we can also share our own contents. The Learning Center also enables our leader training, including regional leaders training, international assembly, and the Council on Legislation.
While these are valuable achievements, much more needs to be done. As we move forward, continued transformation and improvement of the user friendliness and member experience in using member-facing products is needed. We are committed to not just building digital assets necessary to better Rotary experience, but continuously improving them.
That's right, Julie. We want Rotary to be a digitally enabled organization that provides a valuable membership and participant experience.
Absolutely, Venki. Well, that's all I have for the 5-year forecast. Do you have any final thoughts?
I think we have covered it all. So, on behalf of our leadership and our global staff, we look forward to working together with you to achieve great things as together we imagine Rotary.
As you can appreciate, it's a complex subject which we have tried to simplify to the extent possible. As I mentioned at the beginning, should any of you have any questions, suggestions, I would be happy to address those offline as we don't have time now, but I am available. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them on. Thank you. Have a good day.